It was supposed to be an ordinary night, but deep beneath the earth in a Soviet bunker, alarms blared, screens flashed, and the fate of the world rested on one man's shoulders. This is the man I'm talking about, Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov, and this story is about his legacy. It was September 26, 1983, and the Cold War was like a ticking time bomb. On one side, the United States, and on the other, the Soviet Union had their fingers on their nuclear trigger, and humanity teetered on the edge of extinction. One mistake, one wrong move, and it could mean the end of the civilization as we know today. Deep inside a Soviet bunker near Moscow, Petrov sat in a high-stakes control room. The air was thick with tension as he monitored the Soviet Union's state-of-the-art early warning system, an apparatus meant to detect incoming nuclear missiles from the United States. Petrov's job was clear. If the system signaled an attack, he was to notify his superiors, triggering an immediate and catastrophic retaliation. And suddenly it happened. The alarms blared, the screen lit up with a horrifying message. Launch detected, incoming missile, not one, not two. 5 nuclear missiles appeared to be hurtling towards the Soviet Union. The room erupted in chaos, and this was no drill, it was very much real. Now, protocols demanded Petrov to escalate the alert, but a report to his superiors would almost certainly trigger a full-scale nuclear counter-strike, an event, an action that would ensure global annihilation. Every second counted. The fate of the world rested on Petrov's shoulder, and he was to make that crucial decision. But Petrov hesitated. Why only 5 missiles? Why not hundreds? As a true first airstrike would entail, something didn't feel right to him. Petrov trusted his gut over the technology and made a decision that defied all the expectations. He declared this a false positive alarm and refused to report it. One man against the weight of the superpower chose to risk everything. And the minutes that followed were unbearable. The system could have been correct, but Petrov's defiance could mean the obliteration of his homeland, but no missiles ever came. The skies remained silent. Slowly, the horrifying truth emerged. The early warning system had misread sunlight reflecting off the clouds as a missile launch, and hence levied a warning. Petrov's instinct and calm under unimaginable pressure had saved the planet. Yet there were no medals, no parades. His actions were buried in secrecy because the Soviet Union was unwilling to admit that its system had failed. And Petrov quietly returned to his life, uncelebrated and unacknowledged. Very sad. Decades later, the story surfaced and the magnitude of Petrov's heroism became clear. He was hailed as the man who saved the world. Awards, honors followed, along with many books that were written on his life. In fact, this lecture is also inspired from this book, Stanislav Petrov, The Man Who Saved the World, written by Matthew Rivers. But Petrov remained humble and insisted that he was no hero, he was just doing his job. Petrov passed away in 2017, but his story endures a beacon of hope and a chilling reminder of how close humanity came to the brink. But one man, guided by reason and courage, stood between us and the apocalypse. His legacy reminds us that even in the darkest moments, a single individual can change the course of history by making one rational decision, one man, and the survival of billions. Listen to this entire incident in his own words. Watch this video.
It was completely unexpected, as such things usually are. The siren sounded very loudly, and I just sat there for a few seconds, staring at the screen with the word "launch" displayed in bold red letters. A minute later, the siren went off again. The second missile was launched, then the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. The computers changed their alerts from launch to missile strike. There were no rules about how long we were allowed to think before we reported a strike. But we knew that every second of delay took away valuable time that the Soviet Union's military and political leadership needed. And then I made my decision. I would not trust the computer. I picked up the telephone handset, spoke to my superiors, and reported that the alarm was false. But I, myself, was not sure until the very last moment. I knew perfectly well that nobody would be able to correct my mistake if I had made one.
Честно говоря, 50-50. Я понимал отлично, что меня никто не поправит.
So this is it in this video lecture. Please do read about him via his book. This is Dr. Ruben Singh signing off for now. See you in the next one.